Welcome to the second edition of Andrew's Corner. I'm your host, Andrew Hernandez, and today we'll be talking about the NBA trade rumors on Ja Morant. So, so this was something I think that came off the weekend as well, all around the NBA. So the buzz on where do the Grizzlies trade Ja Morant to? So, so Ja Morant's contract with Memphis expires after the 2027-2028 season. So right now, the Grizzlies are kind of looking at where should they trade him. So my options are Miami, Toronto, Milwaukee, Sacramento, and Minnesota. So looking at this, we're gonna, kind of talk about the first up. I think, for one, we have Miami. Miami is they're looking for a new player, kind of, so Miami, they're kind of, looking for like a new player trading potentially to Miami because the deal would involve, I think, Tyler Hero as well. So I think Miami's also looking to trade off Tyler Hero from the Heat to the Grizzlies. But also the Sacramento Kings are also interested in Ja Morant, so their interests are going to be in Levine, DeRozan, or Durant, Sabonis. So maybe like Keegan Murray, but I can't imagine like what the main piece with Ja. If they're going to go ahead and actually make one as well. So with the Kings, so the Kings are currently last, not class. So the Kings' standings are currently their 14th. They're 14th in the West. So currently down in the West as well. So basically, they would probably, they'll probably will end up getting in the lottery, draft lottery as well. So basically, them, Indiana, in New Orleans will probably, end up being the top three as well. Probably once the draft lottery comes out in April or May. So I think Sacramento would be a good spot, but then Milwaukee also comes to mind because I think the Bucks, are a good spot because I think they need like a shooter to build around the Antetokounmpo brothers in Memphis. But I think Milwaukee, they need someone that can build around both brothers. If they want to contend for a championship. Because the Bucks, when I watch, but when I did research, they turn the ball over a lot. From what I read, they turn the ball over a lot. They don't rebound a lot as well. So basically, the Bucks, do they add a star player like Morant to their situation right now, like where they're at, if they want to be like, if they want to be in the playoffs or go for a championship, number two with Giannis and the Antetokounmpo brothers. So basically, that is something. But I think when we look at the trade rumors, like Toronto. The next up we have Toronto, and Toronto, they need like a talent boost. Like they don't have like a clear all-star caliber player is another one because they're playing luxury tax and the budget for a contending team. So one of the trades I didn't expect was Trae Young. Back in December or whatever throughout the season when he was traded to Washington. But we've seen, the trades in the last year where Luka Doncic trade when he went to the Lakers from the Grizzlies, not the Grizzlies, but the Mavericks. I was like, what are the Mavs doing? They traded, their whole, contender to be a championship to the Lakers. I was like, but they're all going to be on different teams in 5 years. I think we'll be on different teams for 5 years. Hopefully, because that's the one thing in the NBA. Because I started watching it, this weekend. I got back into watching the NBA, and I started, watching other leagues basically as well. So basically, the reason what made me stop was the super team thing, where you need to use free agency and all of that instead of using, the draft, and also helping out building younger players. So, in my mind right now, for the Morant trade is where do you want to take? Because the Memphis Grizzlies, looking at this, is I think the Grizzlies, what I have read, they weren't interested in Trae Young when the Trae Young trade stuff was coming out, because I think they want to stay in the lottery and rebuild through younger players, kind of going through the rebuild process of trying to rebuild their team as well. But if they, find him a spot where he can go like, Sacramento, Miami, Toronto, Milwaukee, Minnesota, those are my 5 I think that Morant should go. And I hope that, they could, build, help him get back to being that all-star caliber player, like he was in Memphis. Because this year, what I've looked up, that he's also having a down year. He's also having, kind of a down year this year. So Morant's career he was Rookie of the Year in 2020. He was an All-NBA selection. And he also had, throughout the Grizzlies, he had multiple suspensions and injuries as well. So I think, to anyone, is it a bold move for Memphis? Or do you think it's, not a good move as well? So make sure to comment down below where you think that Morant should, get traded to. If you think it's Miami, Toronto, Milwaukee, Sacramento, or Minnesota, or maybe it's any other team that you like to see him play for. Just comment down below. We'd like to see what you guys think would be a really good, spot for Morant to play around the NBA. Make sure to like the video, and subscribe if you haven't checked out the previous video. In the last edition of Andrew's Corner, we broke down the NFC divisional round matchups. So we did previews on the matchups for next Saturday and Sunday. We did also the Niners-Seahawks matchup and the Bears-Rams matchup. If you haven't checked out, make sure to check it out once it's done. Also coming up, we'll break down the AFC divisional matchups as well. Coming up as well throughout the week, we'll break down the Bills-Broncos matchup, and also the Patriots, either Steelers or Texans, depending on who wins tonight. And then we'll break down the national championship game between Indiana and Miami as well. And we'll also, talk about, stuff around the NBA, NHL, and in this new, new edition that we started, new sports talk show we started. Not just professional, but we'll talk about, the college level, high school level as well. Kind of like What Prime Sports Media. But this is something new for it. If you want to see anything, any ideas for it, make sure to comment down below. And also, to everyone, have a great Monday. and also subscribe so you don't miss out a video. So thank you for watching. Have a great one.